Hey guys, what's up? Mr. Freehill here, and hopefully today's a good day because you guys get to start your group um, research project, right? Yeah, be excited. Okay, no more of me handing you parts of the chapter and you having to do your triple journal entries over them because now it's all up to you, and you can do it. I believe in you. What are we going to talk about today? Well, you're going to get a lot of stuff, and really not that much, just a couple of things, from the sub about how this process works. Okay, so I want to start off by showing you something, and then you're going to get a copy of this as well, but later on. So bear with me, sorry. Okay, so you're going to get a copy like this. And if you see it, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's questions up here, and then there's like parts where it gives you readings, okay? And you'll see this better when you get it. But you're going to be divided into 4 groups. And so when you get this sheet of paper, you're going to be put in either the War of 1812 group, okay, for my war fans, okay? You're going to be put in industrial versus agriculture, nationalism versus sectionalism, so nationalism, sectionalism group. You're going to be put in a government influence group, so government, okay? And you're also going to be put in these are glasses because an invention group, because I don't know, I guess inventors wear glasses. Okay, so, and when you get in each group, you're going to see questions listed. It's labeled a compelling question that's listed, and you're going to go off and you're going to investigate that compelling question within the articles that are provided to you. And it should be fun, should be good, and that kind of stuff, right? And as you're investigating, obviously, I want you to be doing those triple journal entries where you're doing, the source, which would be like the title of the article, then the quote, and then like your reaction and your thoughts. So whether it's like, I don't understand this, unknown word, connection, an inference, just a comment, I don't know, whatever you want to put in there, you go ahead and you put it in, right? And then we're going to be doing that and learning, and hopefully it's a little bit more fun than just watching YouTube videos of me or listening to me talk or whatever you want. Okay, now you are working in groups, but it's okay if you don't really like your group, because first off, we have to hang out with people sometimes that we don't like, and that's just a skill you have to learn. All right, but the other reason is it's not like, I always say this to kids, like, I'm not like having you hold hands with them. So it's like, okay, yes, you have to talk at the beginning of the class period. You're going to probably talk towards the end of the class period. But like, if you want to work not next to your group, that is perfectly fine. Okay, you don't have to sit there and work with him, like, and talk constantly. Okay, now we do have 4 jobs that you're going to be taking. So you're going to get this sheet. Okay, it says roles for researcher. Okay. And so divide your group in your group. Talk about how you're gonna have these 4 little jobs. Okay. One job is facilitator. Of course, you can read what I wrote. That's why I wrote it. But like, you're the person. So if you take this job, that's like kind of in charge of making sure everybody's on task, which can be kind of hard, obviously. But making sure everybody's on task, making sure they know what they're supposed to be doing, making sure that they have everything that they might need, and if they don't have it, like, come and ask. And that kind of thing, right? Make sure there's no issues going on, right? You facilitate the learning, make sure it's happening, and that kind of stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, then volunteer for that job, and I hope you get it, right? Now, maybe you're kind of like, nah, I'd rather like focus, not deal with other people, and like focus on like what I want to know and research and stuff. And so I have this explorer role, right? And now your job is, of course, to research the questions too, but you're also like trying to go a little bit deeper than a lot of the other people, maybe trying to find those connections and sources and um, stuff. Like, you're just really trying to, you're not going to be limited. So if I give you a question like, um, why was the cotton gin important? Like, you're not just going to answer the question. You really want to figure out and wrap your mind around why, because it's more than just a one-word answer type thing. And so if you really like that deeper thinking, really dig in, explore that issues more in depth, I mean, hopefully we're all doing that, but like, it's your job to make sure that we're definitely doing it. So pick that role, okay? And you need someone in that role because it's important. It's important that we do that. Okay, now maybe you're like, nah, none of those sound that good to me. Now you could be a prioritizer, and so some people might say that you're like a control freak, or that you're like really, really organized. Okay, but that's okay because a prioritizer, we need them, right? Because they're kind of like, you know, make sure we all know what questions we should be researching and what we should be looking at, right? So you prioritize like what we're going to do for the day. Each person in the group's going to do for the day, actually. So like what questions we're looking at, what we're trying to figure out, what we want to learn more about, and then like my job as the explorer, or even the facilitator or the reflector, which is next, like we're all going to follow what you tell us, like you prioritize. So if I come to you and I'm like, hey, you know what? I learned about this guy named Nat Turner, and I kind of want to investigate him, but you don't think it really fits, then, I mean, you're able to say, no, Josh Freehill, 7th grade Josh Freehill, we're not going to research that right now, because we really need to figure out more about, like, this whole cotton boom thing and, like, what this King Cotton thing means, okay? And I know the 7th grade Josh Freehill is going to be a little sad, but it's here. But it's okay. You know, if I'm really that passionate about Nat Turner, I would go off and I'd figure out stuff about him anyway. So it's going to be okay. All right, so if you want that power, being able to figure out what people are going to be looking at, and what, as a group, we're going to prioritize and like search for and focus on, that's the job for you, I guess. And then maybe you're kind of one of those people that just likes to sit back and take it all in. And no, I know some of you are like, oh yeah, that's me. And probably because you're like, I don't want to do work. And that's not what I mean, because you're all doing research and questioning and all that stuff, right? But maybe you want to do the reflector role, okay? And the reflector is like those people who are deep thinkers before they say stuff, right? Like they don't just go blah and they say it. It's like they really take things in and they think about stuff, okay? And so you're reflecting on like how the group's doing. And so you're going to get this little sheet of paper, like half sheet or something, and it's going to like have you talk about how you think each group member did and why. And you're going to set goals for next, like goals that you can work on as a group to be more successful and things you would change. So like my job is to look at my group as I'm doing my research and paying attention like, oh, you know, that Mr. Brown, he did an excellent job because of this. All right. And I bet you Mr. Brown was a little nervous when he heard me say his name because he thought maybe I was going to say he didn't do anything. But no, he did like, maybe he was a great partner in the group. Don't ask me about Mrs. Guile, though. You don't know. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so you get the idea. Like you reflect on how the group's doing. Super important job. I mean, all the jobs are important, but like it's hard to know what's not working if you don't stop and you don't ask yourself what's not working. Or the opposite and just as important, like what's really, really, really working well. Okay, because that's important too. All right. So we have those 4 rules. I need each person to take a role. Okay, and you're obviously going to be assigned a group. Okay, and also assigned a section. Okay, so whether it's the war, you know, the War of 1812s, agriculture and industrialism, inventions, or government. Okay, those 4 rules. Okay, and those 4 things. Now, what you're doing with each one. Okay, and this should be really exciting because like I said in my video about questioning, like I'm really wanting you to like go in depth and explore and let your mind wander. I mean, this world's fascinating, and even this, I know it might not sound super interesting, like this is fascinating, okay? I hope it's fascinating to you, or if not yet, it will be, I hope, okay? So you're gonna get an organizer like this, okay? And in it, okay, at the top, you're gonna look at it, and it says today topic I researched today. Now that is not necessarily your compelling question. Okay, so maybe the topic I'm researching today, and I've already mentioned this topic, is cotton, because cotton plays a role in quite a bit of this stuff. So maybe that's the topic, or the cotton boom, that kind of thing. Okay, now I'm going to write my compelling question down that I'm researching. Okay, so those were like those thick questions. I gave you compelling question, but of course you can make your own too, if you would like. Oh, and did you guys see that the fish just is biting that paper? Watch. Oh, see it? I just did it again. How weird. I'm going to fix that. Okay. That was someone's homework, and the fish ate it. I hope that showed up on video because that was kind of cool. Okay. Anyway, where was I? I digress. Anyway, we're really okay. Oh yeah, those are like those thick questions that we talked about, right? And so I told you about thick questions and thin questions. Thick questions are the compelling ones. Thin ones are the supporting. Okay, so as I'm researching, I'm going to also write down my compelling question. Okay, then as I get, go through all my great information, and eventually maybe on Chromebooks, but not at first because I just have articles for you. But like, really take time, read it, enjoy it, learn. Okay, I know some of you don't like learning, or you say you don't like learning, but take time. It should be kind of peaceful and relaxful, I think. I think it'd be fun. And on this side, it says big ideas. Okay, I learned / found out about today. And I know today the Y was cut off, but I'll fix it later. Okay. So, what was the article about? Like, what new information did he learn? I know when I ask my son when he comes home from school, he's in preschool, like, I'll always be like, hey, what did you learn today? Like, what did he learn? All right. And usually he just tells me what he had for lunch and whatever, but, he's 4, so that's fine. Okay. But it's kind of like that question. Like, what did he learn today? And that would be recorded in that big ideas. Okay. Then I have the supporting / new questions I thought of today, where I'm hoping you're thinking of new thick and new thin questions, or new compelling or supporting questions that would fit your topic. So the cotton boom, again, if I'm researching that, maybe a thick question would be, putting me on the spot again, but maybe a thick question would be, was the cotton boom a positive or a negative? Did cotton play a positive role in American history, or a negative role? Okay, that could maybe be an essential question or a compelling. And then a supporting question could be something else, obviously, like where was cotton grown, or how did they harvest cotton? Like, that's more of like an essential or a thin question, or a supporting, right? So you have those to record, and then, right, ideally you are trying to answer your compelling question that I gave you. So like, and this can be kind of challenging because you then need to look at the question that I gave you, and at this bottom box, what it's asking you is, okay, how did what I learned today, how does that relate or go back to that first question I gave you? Because hopefully everything in some way, okay, it might not be like a smack in the face obvious type thing, which that kind of hurt, but maybe it's hopefully in some weird little way it's going to like connect back. Okay, and that's kind of what that back question, or the last question is asking you to do. All right, so today, okay, and then you have a calendar. Okay, and what the calendar is for is we're going to set our schedule of the week. Okay, now the sub has the schedule too. We're going to list when we have mini lesson days, and there's a video on YouTube. So if you're absent, you can watch it on YouTube. When we have work days, when the packets need to be read by, and we're going to kind of, and then when we're going to introduce computers, and then when the computers are going to go bye-bye, and you're going to have to like take everything from your notebook, and like these, because you're going to get one of these each day, and make some type of product, okay? Because, I'm going to let's say I was assigned to the War of 1812 group. I love the War of 1812, forgotten war, pretty important, did a lot to change our country. But that means I'm not learning anything about inventions, okay? And we want you to learn stuff about inventions, right? But I also want it to be more fun and like you doing stuff. And so I don't want you just to be like Mr. Friel going like blah, 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 blah. And then like I'm sitting here like this, which I try to make sure you guys aren't doing anyway. But sometimes it happens. But I feel like this would be more fun. So we're dividing it up. I might not be learning as much about the other 3, but it is your job, heads up, that to go off later on and become teachers. Like, you're becoming the expert now, the historian now, to go off and become the teachers later. So you're going to meet with your group today. So to wrap it up, okay, you're going to meet with your group today. Okay, well, you're going to get your group, actually. Okay, once you get your group, you're going to sit down and talk about what question you got, or what category you got, whether it was War of 1812, industry versus agriculture, government influence, or inventions. Okay, you're going to assign roles. So someone's going to be the facilitator, someone's going to be the explorer, someone's going to be the prioritizer, and someone's going to be the reflector. Okay, and then you can kind of look through the research and figure out like how you want to split it up. Like I personally would maybe split it up where each person takes an article, and like we don't always have to be in one big group talking constantly because that's not really that efficient. But part of this is also that you're in 7th grade and you need to learn how to work together. So I mean, I'm going to leave that somewhat up to you, as long as you can handle it, you know. And of course, the sub and then Mr. Brown are going to be able to help out too if you guys can't handle it. But anyway, so that's kind of our goal for today. And then tomorrow, let me make sure I'm not telling you something wrong. Tomorrow will be our first yeah, sorry, that was probably a really boring 30 seconds or whatever that was. Tomorrow's your first work day. So tomorrow when you come in, you're just going to have to pick up the research stack, you know, just get your stuff together. Of course, the sub will have, you know, we'll do stuff in the beginning, go to your seat, obviously, but tomorrow is going to be just a research day. And so you'll also actually today have a chance to fill out your calendar, so you're going to know that because on your calendar you're going to put when your research days are and then when I will have lessons like on YouTube and activities that aren't just this, because of course we will have stuff to help us. So I'm really sorry this video is a little long. I'm hoping you're all still awake. If not, that wake you up? Hope so. Okay, anyway, I'm done. See you guys later.